Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show, has watched it over the past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications. My father often spoke with world leaders with whom he and the United States profoundly disagreed. That's a task shared by reporters and commentators alike.
Okay, so guys, if you don't know what's going on, the thing is, I've been covering Morning Joe lately on this channel because the hypocrisy from the left is literally coming from everywhere. So everybody's talking about everybody right now, and we are here for it, right? So this is Anna Kasparian slamming Morning Joe for doing what they did. They dined at Trump's house, Mar-a-Lago. I mean, they went to Trump and dined with him. Not even that they interviewed him, right? And they're trying to make it seem like we opened up communication. Like, nah, y'all ate with that man. And it's just hilarious. I mean, me personally, I think that it should have never got this bad where we have to cover this story, but let's cover it.
Well, the hosts over at Morning Joe are facing quite a bit of backlash after they decided to visit Donald Trump for a delightful meal over at Mar-a-Lago following Trump's victory in the presidential election, of course. And this is after they basically spent years calling him a dangerous dictatorial man. Now, they said that they talked about many issues, including abortion, mass deportations, and the threats of retribution against political and media opponents. And here's their explanation as to why they decided to work with Trump after years of fear-mongering about his authoritarian nature.
In this meeting,
and before we go to the reasons, and it was fear-mongering, because I've seen a couple of these clips, and I'm like, this is how these people have been talking for all these years. Like, this isn't a show I really watch. I cover it here and there, but I never really watch it. Like, these people are insane, right? But anyway, to come back to it, like, don't forget that this was the same woman who went on The View, and she said she was afraid that Trump was going to put her in the internment camp. She sounds so unhinged. It was insane. The whole comment was so insane that it sent Cenk and Anna into a fight that when they were covering her on CYT, but it was insane. So I guess she got so scared. She was like, please don't put me away and let me get a steak with a side of mashed potatoes. I mean, what is going on? By the way, guys, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you to every eye that lands on these videos. Let's get back at it.
President Trump was tearful. He was upbeat. He seemed interested in finding common ground with Democrats on some of the most divisive issues. And for those asking why we would go speak to the president-elect during such fraught times, especially between us, I guess I would ask back, why wouldn't we? 5 years of political warfare has deeply divided Washington and the country. We have been as clear as we know how in expressing our deep concerns about President Trump's actions and words in the coarsening of public debate. But for nearly 80 million Americans, election denialism, public trials, and January 6th were not as important as the issues that moved them to send Donald Trump back to the White House with their vote. Joe and I realize it's time to do something different. And that starts with not only talking about Donald Trump, but also talking with him.
Now, President-elect Donald Trump has also confirmed that this meeting did in fact take place. And in an interview with Fox News, he says many things were discussed, and I very much appreciated the fact that they wanted to have open communication. In many ways, it's too bad that it wasn't done long ago. He added that they congratulated me on running a great and flawless campaign, one for the history books, which I really believe it was, but it was also a campaign where I worked long and hard, that's what she said, perhaps longer and harder than any presidential candidate in history. Now, according to Fox News, the president-elect also said that he has an obligation to the American public and to our country itself to be open and available to the press. Admirable thing to say. But then he continues, If not treated fairly, however, that will end. The media is very important to the long-term success of the United States of America. Fox and Friends also made sure to heap praise on Trump for agreeing to meet with the Morning Joe crew, calling him magnanimous. And now Mika and Joe are getting a lot of backlash, which we'll give you a little taste of in just a minute. But before you guys hear everyone else's comments about this, you should hear what Cenk.
But before we go to Cenk, okay, so, actually, I want to get to the backlash. I mean, Cenk is going to probably say a few things. She tried to make it seem like Trump said something bad when she turned the page, like, because he says he wants to open media, and she's like, but he said that will end if not treated fairly. That's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to be funny. I remember they made me like him. Everything was Trump, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. They try to impeach this man, Russia collusion. I mean, that is a threat to the nation. When the media lies you so much, Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, my gosh, I hate when that happens. They took so much money to lie to people, right? Because that's what it is. They didn't believe what they were saying. That's dangerous. It's not even about Trump. So why am I going to work with you people if you're building narratives about me and you want me to keep coming around so you can build more narratives around me? Check it and tell the truth. That's all I want, is the truth told by the media.
Has to say, Cenk, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so look, this one's complicated for two reasons. So first, should you reach out on things that you agree on? Well, of course you should. So I've never understood this thing where people that are either Democrats or on the left say, no, out of spite, we shouldn't work with Trump on things that we agree with him on, like anti-war. Why? Why not take the win? Take the win, right? So if Trump agrees with me on something, I'm not going to fight him just because he's Trump or on the other team. That's crazy, right? I would, in fact, help to try to get those things passed as long as we agree, right? Now, do you think that Morning Joe Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski went there to fight for paid family leave, fight for the anti-war position, fight for some policy? No, they went to go fight for their own ass.
100%.
So all they're doing is kissing up to him now to get access.
100% for real, because Joe didn't even know that butter cost $7. And shout out to Joe for not knowing that. Because I don't want to make it seem like, because he don't even know the struggle. Because I hate when people talk like that. You know what? The man's worked really hard to have other people take care of his shopping and accountants that take care of all of that stuff, and the food just shows up in the fridge. Good for him, right? Even though, yeah, I know he lied and everything else, but look, I'm not here to get in the way of how somebody else makes their bag. That's not something I would do. If that's something he's doing, whatever, right? It is what it is. But this is also not the same guy who's going to say, hey guys, we need to do something about this butter that's $7. He's not going to do it. Him and his girl went there to secure their position, right? So let's look at some of the backlash though, right?
Has now led to people dunking on them. And I will allow it because it's totally justified. Scott Jennings writes on Twitter, Hitler getting a lot more meeting requests than I would have thought. You have Republicans against Trump saying this is why people don't trust the mainstream media anymore. Bingo. Joe and Mika, who constantly attack fascist Trump on their show, went to Mar-a-Lago to talk with Trump over the weekend. And look, some Trump fans felt differently. They see that this could be just a new era in America where the media is a little more fair to Trump. So Piers Morgan, for instance, says, wow, wasn't expecting this, but good for them. America needs to come together again. But the damage has been done. Okay, so I look, you know how I felt about the fear mongering that was taking place among Democrats and, you know, their mouthpieces in cable news. Just lean into fear, scare the bejesus out of American voters about Trump. He's Hitler, he's a fascist, he's gonna come for you, he's gonna put us in internment camps. Not only does this totally deteriorate trust in the media, but even worse, look, we oftentimes talk about right-wingers who use violent rhetoric that could inspire people who are not all there, right? People who might have some mental issues, mental illnesses, to carry out acts of violence. So how is it any different when Democrats do it? It's not.
Okay, let's, all right. So I don't really understand the correlation. So I want to be very clear, as she just made this point about, people who use words to inspire somebody who's mentally. Look, if I'm speaking, I'm speaking. Okay, I cannot be so responsible for people I don't know. Now, of course, I'm not going to say anything that would become a danger to myself and others. But this notion that every time you speak, you have to think of a million people that you don't know. No. Okay? No. Anything I could say could inspire somebody to do something insane. All right? We don't want that. But insanity comes in very different forms. So I just wanted to say that. Now, coming back to it. Yes, the damage is done. Let me tell you something. Right now, and I will end with this. The reason that you lovely people are watching me on YouTube right now, and I love coming to you guys, I do, is because in 2020, these people showed me that there is nothing they won't lie about, okay? I am a nurse who watched a cough, yes, take over the nation and destroy businesses and everything else. Obviously, it was the legislation around it. I will never tell you that it was not real because I saw the geriatric population suffer from this thing and nobody gave them any attention. To this day, I am not the same person, right? I probably should have went to therapy for some of the things that I saw, but you just find somewhere, you just brush it under, the rug. Maybe this is my therapy. Maybe having this YouTube is my therapy. This is what made me start YouTube because I was like, what's going on? I can't trust anybody in the media because if you guys can do this, because of this and not deal with it appropriately, there's nothing you won't lie to me about. So from already right there, I was like, I don't trust the media. And then I came up with this, this channel was supposed to be, if you go back and look at my catalog, if you go all the way back to the beginning, you'll see the type of stuff that I was posting. And it was supposed to be for debates because I was tired of debating the same old thing. So I was like, I'm just going to make a couple episodes, just put them on YouTube, and then that's it. And then praise the Lord, it has flourished into something I never imagined. I, in fact, denied what happened. I told people I didn't want to do this. I was like, no, I'm not going to. It's just for fun. No, I love this. So I thank God for it. But it damaged me with the media. It did. And they did that, along with many other lies. And then now, after you guys have talked all this trash, act like you were trying to save the American people from this big dictator, you went and ate at his house. You trust him enough to eat his food. Okay, these people are bad, but it's okay. It's all right. The inconvenient truth is here, and there's a lot of good people, independent content creators, people who are beholden to the truth, who are really staying strong with it and standing 10 toes down on truth. And we thank God for them. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.